Hello and welcome to Tularis University. In this video, we'll show you how to configure roles on your XPressEntry desktop and use cases for roles. Now, we assume in this video that you have XPressEntry installed, which you see on the right-hand side of my screen. And I'll also be using the XPressEntry client, so we assume that you have the XPressEntry client software installed as well. Please reach out to us if you need a client license, and we'll be happy to provide one for you. Now, the roles in a nutshell are used to control how a user has access to the XPressEntry server or client. It restricts what the user can see, what they can do, and with this you can control multiple access to your systems and assign this to many users. So let's get right into it. For you to configure a role, we need to go into the Add Edit Info, and you need to go into the tab called Roles. And as an example, let's create a new role. I'll call this role Viewer Only. And I just want this role to be able to view records, and that's pretty much it. Please note that these restrictions only apply to the User tab under the Admin application. If you want to restrict further tabs, you would have to use the Client application. So if you want this user to also have access to specific features on the client, you may want to configure the client settings as well. This controls what the user can do on the client side of the application. So let's see how that is configured on the client side of things. So you need to go into settings, and on the client settings, let's create another client setting and call that Viewer Only. Or we can just call it Viewer. You want to hit Save. And under the client settings, like I said, you can configure trickles, what the user can do. Each of the tabs are able to either enable or disable. So let's just disable everything. I'll uncheck all of these tabs. And I just want to only add a view for alarms. Let's add a view for activity as well. And under the activity columns, I just want to see only the door name, and I want to see the badge number, and I want to see the name. You can enable the kinds of reports that are available on the client. This way, the users that are logging in from the client side are only able to see the specific reports that you want them to see. For instance, if you want to assign a time and attendance client view for one of your users, they'll only be able to see that time and attendance report, but not the administrative reports that are on your server. So I'll just uncheck all of this, and I'll just say this person can only see door activity and badge activity by user. Finally, on the badge settings, you can display certain badge fields, and you can allow the editing of a badge, or you can disallow. So I'll just hit Save. I'll leave that unchecked. And this client settings, I will now go back into Add Edit Info. And under the roles, I'm going to take that viewer only and assign them to that viewer. Now, the final thing is to create a login for a user and then assign this role to that user under the login. So I'll just go back into users and I'll search for myself. And then I'm going to assign myself a login. So to do that, you need to click this button here that says create login. And I'm just going to say my login is Clem and my email is clement@tolaris.com. Now I'm going to assign that role and say I'm a viewer only, and I'll put a password. And I just hit save. Now to test this, I'm just going to log out to show you how it works. I'm going to log in with Clem and see how that works. So as you can see under this user, if I go into the Add Edit Info tab, I'm not able to make any changes to a user, and all this is blocked out because I set this as a view only account. So let's log out, and I want to go into the client and show you how that works. So I'm going to log into Clem and put my password. And I'll just log in. And so as you can see, I'm able to view just the alarm and the activity, just the tabs that I made available to this account. And if you see under the activity, I'm only able to see the door, the name, and the badge number. And under reports, you should see that I'm only able to see the badge activity by user, and all the other reports that are on the system are not enabled. Now, this is how you can use your roles. It is very flexible. You can assign a role and pick exactly what you want the user to do, what you want them to see, and you can use this to partition and control multiple access to your XPressEntry system. Now, we wish that this has been helpful to you. Please feel free to reach out to us at helpdesk@Solaris.com for any technical queries, or sales@Solaris.com for any product inquiries. Thank you.